Aloha. Today I just wanted to share a theory that I had been thinking about in reference to the sun and the moon, and specifically in reference to a video that I did a while back that I'll link in the description called Flat Earth Physics, a Superconductor Theory, where it's basically the science or the uh, the science of quantum levitation and what superconductors are, and basically, like the video is going to show or is showing right now, the the locking of the superconductor within the three-dimensional realm without in some sort of electromagnetic field that has something to do with hot and cold, the energies of hot and cold. And this kind of like triggered my perspective of both the sun and the moon and some highly theoretical just ideas of what the sun and the moon could possibly be. And also I just wanted to expand a little bit on some of the possibilities of a living sun and a living moon and a living dome. So if people, this is just for focus purposes, because there's a lot of people who believe or have some kind of resonance with some sort of dome thing that exists, and not to mention also the ancestral depictions of some sort of dome. So to focus in on for a moment on just like a hypothetical expansion of this superconductor theory that I was thinking about a little while back. To expand it, I just wanted to go into the idea of what could possibly be the other side of the sun and the other side of the moon, and the relationship that the dome has with the earth and the relationship that the dome has with the sun and the moon in reference to seasons and energy as a whole. So in reference to quantum levitation and both the sun and the moon being possibly being superconductors, in reference to seasons specifically, if the earth has some sort of expansion and contraction in reference to like the tides, which could be very related. Some people theorize that the tides have some sort of relationship to, on a flat earth model, have some sort of relationship to the whatever's happening at the North Pole, the Arctic center. So that could be some sort of like breathing, some sort of in and out, and that could possibly be what the tides are. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, well, if the tides are doing that, then why? And the dome could also possibly be some kind of water in reference to how we visualize the planets. What if the dome is actually breathing, for lack of a better word, but has some sort of expansion and contraction? And when I thought about that, I was thinking about the locking mechanism of the superconductor that is the sun and the moon in reference to the seasons. So on the flat earth model, you have the sun, specifically for the seasons, that goes closer in towards the Arctic center during the summertime and goes out towards the ice ring during the wintertime. Our sort of so-called northern hemisphere perspective of summer and winter. But in reference to positive and negative energy, I was thinking about that if this could be just another, just obviously this is all theoretical, but this is why I'm making this video right now, just to share with people an idea to think about that could possibly be, because I know people were asking about, like, well, how do the seasons work in this whole thing? And I haven't heard anything about that, and I haven't heard anything about the possible science of the dome and the movement of the sun, let alone the other side of the sun. We've heard stuff about the other side of the dark side of the moon, and we always know that the garbage that's being delivered to us by the so-called powers that be is always the opposite. So if they're telling us that we have a dark side of the moon, who's to say that we don't have an actual light side of the moon or bright side of the moon? And if that could possibly be the case, then we could also have like a dark side of the sun. So we are only really seeing the darker side of the moon, and this goes into the other theory that I was thinking about in reference to either the relationship that the sun and the moon has to the dome, or possible realms, because people also see the sun and the moon as light bodies that are like bridges between, or beings that are bridges between realms. So in reference to the hot and the cold, or the balances of the positive and the negative, the sun could, the lighter side or the dark side of the sun that we don't see, could possibly be grounding from the dome and shooting energy, positive energy or warm energy, onto the earth. And in reference to the moon, it could be the opposite. And we can see this with the energy that is either put off by the moonlight, which is cold light, cold energy that we feel, and it has been tested. Either that is giving off cold energy, or it's pulling some kind of warm energy from either the earth itself or the beings. One of the two is happening there. And like I said, these are just a whole bunch of different ideas that I had in reference to what the sun and the moon could possibly be in the relationship to the dome as a whole, and just giving the expanding the perspectives to possibly trigger some other perspectives in other people. And I don't know, that was just some of the things that I was thinking about like what the sun and the moon could possibly be, the seasons, and the expansion and contraction, like the breathing of possible, like breathing of the dome, if we can understand that the earth has some sort of breath or expansion and contraction with the tides. Who's to say that the sun doesn't have the same thing? And as a theory, it looks like that made sense to me. If it didn't make sense to me in some kind of way, I wouldn't have been talking about it now. But it makes sense to me that if the dome were actually alive in some kind of way, and it did expand and contract, it would have some sort of effect on the sun and the moon, specifically the sun in reference to the seasonal change and the movement on either side of the equator. So that's basically what I had for this video. I just wanted to share that perspective, that idea in reference to the superconductor theory video that I put together, and really just wanted to see what people were thinking about that, and see what, go a little further into the possible sciences of the sun and the moon, and what could possibly be going on with this whole realm, because it's pretty much our responsibility. We could talk about flat earth forever, and we could talk about the lies of NASA and the lies of the government forever, but ultimately it's our responsibility to start theorizing, at least in the beginning, and questioning our reality on our own to really kind of interpret what's really going on here. So that's pretty much all I had for this video. Like I said, the link for the flat earth physics superconductor theory video is in the description. And if you have any ideas or additions to what I was talking about in reference to the seasons, the dark side of the sun, or the dark side of the moon, or the light side of the moon and the dark side of the sun, just leave it in the comment section below. And yeah, thank you for joining me. And until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.